Hey traders, Jason here from Leavitt Brothers. Happy New Year. So in this video, I'm going to talk about themes that are developing. Okay, so the best way to kind of approach the market is to recognize what groups are leading and then do most of your business in those groups. At any given time, there's going to be a handful of groups that are outperforming by a wide margin, and everything else is just going to be so-so. So you always want to take, the universe of stocks, 3,000, 4,000 stocks, narrow it down based on price, based on volume. But then after you get to a workable list of, say, 1,000 or 1,500, you want to focus on the stocks and the groups that are performing the best. So money is rotating around the market, and you want to pay attention to what groups are leading. So last year, huge run up January, February, but a lot of growth names actually topped in February, March, and trended down. Meanwhile, big cap tech stocks did well. Apple, Microsoft, Google, they all did really well. Semiconductors did well, especially towards the end of the year. So money rotated around, and if you focused on being concentrated in the groups and in the stocks that were doing the best at any given time, you did well. But if you clung to an old group that was doing well and then started to fall off and you held on, then you kind of suffered. So in this video, I'm going to talk about some themes that seem to be developing as we start the new year. Okay. So first up, oil is doing well. Okay. Here's Gush. It is an oil ETF. As you can see here, it was strong for a while, pulled back, did a little double bottom here and here, chop, 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 and then it broke out yesterday and is following through today. Oil stocks across the board look extremely good. Let me just kind of give you a couple of examples just to show you what I'm seeing out there. So here's P10, and you can see this is the daily chart. You can see it broke out in the process of breaking out yesterday and following through today. If I back this up to the weekly chart, you can see it looks really nice. Okay, double bottom here in 2020, rallies up. You got some touches along the 50-week moving average. You got a decent triangle pattern here. This actually looks, oil continues to do well, or if it becomes a leader this year, I can definitely see Patterson going from 10 up to 15 or even higher. So really good potential here. LPI. Smaller company, a little bit more risky, but has huge upside potential if oil does really well. You can see here, based in 2020, ran up huge percentage-wise. Now it's trading in like this wide range. We got resistance at 100. We got some touches along the 50-week moving average. This stock looks really good. It looks really good for a move just up to 100, and then if it breaks out at 100, I think it probably goes to 150. So it's another one that has a great potential. SM looks really good. Let's look at the daily with this one. This has been a favorite of mine for a little while. Nothing special here, just a strong stock, kind of choppy in a range. But obviously, if you're looking back just to like the last 2 days here, this choppy period seems to be resolving up. CPE, you can see resistance level here, so it's doing really well today, and it's moving right up to the resistance level. If I back this up to the weekly, you can see how, decent upside potential. You got like it touches on the 50-week here, touches on the 50-week here. You got a decent base here that goes back several months, and you got some open space. You got some open space over here that could be filled if oil continues to do well. Last one. Let me go over the daily here. This is LBRT. Nothing special here. Well, it is. It looks great. I guess you can say that's special here. What I mean by nothing special is that if you pull up a list of the oil stocks, there are like dozens and dozens of stocks that look just like this. Okay, stocks that have rolled up and down, have based, and now they're breaking out, and volume in most cases is pretty good. Okay, so there's like dozens and dozens of stocks that just look just like this. So this is a group that we should be playing. Okay, don't cling to old groups that were working last year, early last year. Pay attention to what new groups are working, and oil right now is one of those groups. All right, next up, financials are doing well. So here is FAS. It's a leveraged ETF. As you can see, broke out today, huge volume. It's huge volume yesterday, and we got like already huge volume today on the breakout. So this looks really, really good. Another financial ETF is DPST. This is regional banks. It's a leveraged regional banks ETF, and you can see here, like, this is a fantastic base here, riding the 50-week moving average up, getting compressed by converging trend lines. This thing breaks out, I think at least it goes to 80 and maybe 100, but that might be pushing a little bit. But definitely, if it can break out at 60, it definitely can go fairly easily up to 80. Let's dig in and just quickly look at a couple of the stocks in the group. So here's Bank of America trending up, higher highs, higher lows, close to its high right now. Wells Fargo, higher highs, higher lows, at a higher high right now. JP Morgan, higher highs, higher lows, not as exciting. It's been mostly flat the last several months. Charles Schwab breaking out to a new high today. So financials doing well, oil's doing well. What's not doing well? Well, China's not doing well. We know that. China's been weak for a while. So here's yen, which is a leverage ETF out of China. As you can see, down, 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 down. A couple times it's shown some potential, but it always just kind of gets beaten back. This is the weekly chart. You can see beaten back by the 21-week moving average. Here's the daily chart, just high, lower highs, lower lows. Shows a couple signs of like, hey, maybe it'll, gets above the 50 there, but gets beaten back, gets above there, above there, above there. But each time it just drops to a new lower low. So China they're doing really weak. And then, of course, there's just added risk because of all this talk about Chinese stocks possibly getting delisted. So to me, China is going to be off limits. It's been off limits. I've considered it a few times. I've toyed around with it a little bit, but I just think until the entire group officially turns and starts like acting better, I think it should be completely off limits. So what else is not doing well? Let's go to semiconductors. So semiconductors are mixed right now. They've mostly done very, very well, but they're starting to soften. So here's Avago. This was on our trading list at Leavitt Brothers. It has done incredibly well. You can see trend up, trend up, trend up. We had a little breakout there, breakout a couple weeks ago. Overall, obviously, this stock is doing incredibly well. On semiconductor, same thing, not as good, but still doing well. This is another one that was at another trading list at Leavitt Brothers. You can see it moved up, consolidated for a month, and then broke out. But AMD, it's treated us well, but it's basically flat over the last 2 months, so it's not really doing anything. So it's starting to soften there, and you can see like big bearish engulfing pattern there. NVIDIA, same thing. NVIDIA and AMD have moved similarly recently, mostly a choppy range here, starting to soften. Okay, overall semiconductors are doing well, but I'm seeing stuff like this where it's a leadership stock. It's one of the biggest stocks out there, and it's starting to soften. It's got lower highs, lower lows, and it just doesn't seem to be holding up that well. All right, so let's go over to software is where a lot of the issues are right now. Big problems in software. So here's Workday, and you can see broke down over here, trade consolidated, and just broke down again the last 2 days. TTD, similar thing, broke down a month ago, lower highs there, lower high there, formed a support level at 85, and today it's taking out that support level. Bill.com, similar thing, broke down a month, 2 months ago, lower highs, and then formed a consolidation pattern and is breaking down now. Team, same thing, broke down more than a month ago, formed a support level, and is breaking down today. Net did incredibly well, and it has given it all back. I remember when the stock was going up over here, and this was like just the can't miss play. It just kept going up and up and up and up and up. It has now done a complete round trip and given everything back. Every little attempt to move up just gets batted back. Okay, so software's not doing well. All right, so overall, it's very obvious that money has completely come out of software. It's starting to come out of semiconductors. China has, although they have like a lot of quality tech names, China has been in the dumps for a while, yet financials and oil are doing really well. Okay, so this is the new theme. At any given time, you got to ask yourself, like, where is money flowing? What's the theme? What's hot right now? And right now, oil, financials are where it's at. Tech, is not interesting at all. And so you don't want to cling to old tech names, grind your account down while other groups are doing well. It's hard. Okay, when tech treated you well for a while, and oil is in the dumps, it's kind of hard to make that change, but you have to. Okay, at any given time, you want to ask yourself what's going on in the market, where is money flowing, what groups are leading, what groups are lagging, and you just got to follow that flow of the money and don't question it. All right, that's all I have. Hope you got something out of this, and I will see you next time.